Hi, I'm Scott O'More. I'm the creator of a new sci-fi web series for the interweb. It's entitled The Coffee Table. It's 15 5-minute episodes. It's sort of a Doctor Who meets The Greatest American Hero type premise where a relatively normal family discovers that their coffee table is actually an ancient alien artifact. And in the process of discovering this, they inadvertently activate this artifact, which has the effect of teleporting their entire house with them inside of it deep into the void, where the void is described as the absence of stuff. And what happens is aliens start ringing their doorbell looking for this coffee table. It turns out it's valuable for various reasons. And the whole story hinges around this relatively normal family's desperate quest to get home before A, they run out of food, B, aliens steal their coffee table, or C, something else that we haven't imagined yet might happen to them. This effort is being produced by Caution Zero Network, and this is my second major collaboration with Stephen McCandless, who's the executive producer for Caution Zero. A bunch of years ago, we shot a series called Cherub, the Vampire with Bunny Slippers, which was a totally preposterous parody of Joss Whedon's Angel, and that ran for 25 episodes. But the exciting thing about the coffee table, of course, is that it's a completely new concept. It's not a parody of anything. It obviously borrows from various styles and whatnot, but it's a totally unique story. We have a whole wonderful cast of Seattle fringe actors lined up to do some fantastic performances. Webb Crowell, who's a renowned local filmmaker, is going to be helping us do all of our analog special effects. So whenever you have to look at things that are happening outside the house, we're going to do them very old school with models and crazy underwater cinematography and things that I don't know very much about, but Webb knows a lot about. So you're going to see all kinds of back and forth between the plight of the characters in the house and little Hot Wheels cars zipping around outside. So one of the inspirations for this series was I was introduced to the concept in television of a bottle show or a bottle episode, and that's where in an episode of television, the entire episode for that particular episode is shot on the existing standing sets for a series, and with as few guest stars as possible. And the premise in the television world is that you distribute, so you save a lot of money by doing that, and then you can distribute that money to maybe your finale where you want to have 100,000 explosions. So I started thinking of the bottle show from the perspective of why couldn't we have a bottle series and save ourselves a whole lot of money? Obviously, the cheapest way to shoot internet video is to not shoot it at all, but I thought this would be a compromise between something more elaborate with 100,000 explosions and not shooting it at all. So it's not entirely set inside the house. Like I said, we'll go outside periodically and we'll see things floating around, but the creative challenge of a bottle show is often that these things are terrible. Frequently you'll have two people who are prisoners in a cage for 45 minutes and then they have a conversation about it. And this is nothing like that. There's a lot of action, there's a lot of comedy, there's a lot of character development. There's one character has a sword, for instance, and I'm only giving you one example of the type of thing that might happen. But I come from a tradition here in Seattle, a fringe theater tradition, where the fewer resources that you have to deploy for a piece of theater, for instance, the more creative your solutions have to be if you want to tell an outstanding story that people are going to remember. And that was very much my inspiration. In the grand scheme of things, if we're lucky and we get to do all of these episodes and people enjoy them, the story definitely has a beginning, a middle, and an end. So we've got a season 2 outlined and a season 3 outlined, and it's definitely designed to have a satisfying ending. We're not intending to tell this story forever and ever and ever until finally we're just frustrated beyond belief. When you think about network television, they're telling a huge amount of, they tell a very large story over the course of a single season, where 50 pages or 45 pages or whatever equals an episode, and they'll do anywhere from 13 to 26 of those episodes. All we're trying to do in season 1 of our story is essentially 15 5-minute episodes, so it's only like 75 pages. It's ambitious nevertheless for a tiny little company like ours. We're going to be doing a 10-day shoot in October, and what your donation to this project would go directly toward funding is equipment rental for key pieces of equipment, making a few key pieces of alien costumes and goth costumes and strange things, and accumulating a few interesting props, building the models, getting everything in place, feeding the actors once or twice throughout that 10-day run. It's really all they need, I've learned. But the premise is the vast majority, just about every single person on the cast and crew is volunteering a huge amount of time in order to make this happen. And so when you donate to this project, it goes straight into, you're going to see all $25 or $30 of your donation or more if you're wanting to be a producer or a co-producer or a deadly ninja. That's one of the tiers. That's all going to show up on screen. So that's it. We're not looking for much. It's a very modestly budgeted production. We're looking to do this as reasonably as humanly possible while still telling an extremely creative story. And we hope you've got a spare 10 or 20 or $50 that you can spare. We'll be giving out DVDs and posters, and there'll be all kinds of Easter eggs. So kind of keep in touch with the production. We'll have a production diary so you kind of get some behind the scenes stuff once we get into production in October. And we'll stay in touch with you. A simple 10 or 20 or $50 donation, like I said, goes a really long way. Thank you very much for listening, and talk to you soon.
Blah, 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 get out of here or else magic laser cannon!
And the mood slowly exits. Outside, the glowing balls begin to depart. Living room.
At least we have these diagrams that we can't really understand. And we still have the coffee table. Can't really operate. And Tabitha can make things appear that she can't really control. And we still have the house, which we are all going to die in. Probably. I'm sorry, I'll stop now. Do the ninjas eat? We'll speed up the starting time.
Melody gets up to leave.